It's been a great experience for me over the last 34 years, honestly. 32 years as a head coach, starting here as a graduate assistant, and I would sum it up as just saying I'm very grateful for the opportunity that was given to me. You know, when I was 23, I became a head coach in the softball program with no background in softball, no head coaching experience, and you know, Joe was willing to take a chance on me at that point. And give me an opportunity to be a head coach, and I think that was really pivotal in terms of my development, in terms of the leadership development piece for me, and overseeing a program, and you know, and then to have an opportunity 5 years later to step into the basketball program, still with a pretty relatively young at that point, 28 years old, and become the head coach, and to do it here as long as we've done it. You know, I would say just really grateful for the opportunity that Lehigh provided to me.
What did you see in Addie, and did she at any point know that she was the heir apparent to this program?
She knew, you know, in the honestly, when again going back when Joe and I talked about it, you know, he at the time I didn't feel like I had that person in the program. And he said, well, next time you hire somebody, make sure that's something you're looking for. And you know, as I was going through the search process, and this was 3 years ago for a new assistant, you know, it's something Addie and I talked candidly about. I had told her at that time, you know, it's probably 3 to 5 years. I had given myself a time frame of 3 to 5 years. I'm going to be transitioning out, and I'm looking for somebody who can transition in. So my candidate pool was really focused around having somebody who had the ability, who I thought would be a good fit with the university, good fit with our program, and who could, again, step into a leadership role over time. And I was pretty confident, honestly, when it just, you know, I knew about her. I knew her background at Princeton. She had some great mentors coming into it. And then seeing her on the court, interacting with our kids, understanding knowledge base. She's got all the kind of it factors to be a real success here. So then it was just a matter of time, you know, of making sure she was well groomed for the position. I think she's really prepared to take the program, honestly, even to a higher competitive level. And I also wanted to leave at a time where the program was successful. That was really important to me, where the cupboard wasn't bare, and where she's got a lot of talent coming back. I think we've got some of the most talent coming back in our league next year. I thought it was the right time for her, where she can have success too in that as she starts off as a head coach. I thought that was really important.
Did the pandemic alter your plans at all?
I don't think so. You know, I'll be honest. Last year was probably my hardest year of coaching. You know, for a number of reasons. The pandemic. I think the personal loss that occurred in our program probably took more of a toll on me. I don't know that it expedited the process at all for me. I've thought it wasn't something. This is something I've been thinking about, like I said, probably 5 to 7 years of, you know, knowing I didn't want to coach till I was 65, and knowing, you know, that I had one more opportunity, kind of work, you know, one more role to fulfill. So I don't think I don't think it changed. I will say it was probably the last 2 years were the hardest 2 years of my coaching, though, of doing this.
Two-part question. First, I'm going to go back to the initial time you walked on this campus to now. How have you changed?
I would say I've grown a lot in a lot of different ways, and Lehigh has really been, for me, an opportunity, a place that gave me that opportunity to really grow and develop as a coach. And you know, I'll say at the same time, probably one of the things that has kept Fran and I here for 34 years, it was also a place that allowed us to raise our family within the cultures of our program. And not a lot of places would allow you to do that. And you know, I think that goes from Joe's leadership and his vision of the place, but he really allowed us to kind of incorporate our family into what we do, and I think that's allowed us to have the success that we've had here.
The second part over that same time is, how has Lehigh plus the game of basketball and the student athlete changed?
A lot. You know, Fran and I talk about this a lot. It's a very different coaching kids now than it was 30 years ago. And I think part of that is the role of coaches has evolved, in that you're much more than, and we've always been much more than a basketball coach or a softball coach. I think that's why Fran and I have had the success we've had, because we've really taken a self-interest in the development of our student athletes as people, not just as basketball players. But I think there's a lot more responsibility on coaches in terms of just the mental development, the social development, just the overall expectations of the hats you wear as a coach now. And also the expectations of coaches, in terms of the wins and losses piece of it, that's changed too, in terms of there's probably more pressure now. I do think Lehigh's grounded in the right way though, in terms of, their emphasis on the development of the student athlete is paramount and foremost, before any wins and losses.
You transition to a new position. What are your responsibilities going to be?
Kind of broad overview of all of our programs, oversight of all of our programs. So kind of I would describe it probably as a COO role, Chief Operating Officer role. It's a Deputy Director of Athletics, but it'll be really overseeing all the operations side of what we do, and really looking at systems, processes, programs, what we do, how we do it, how we can do it better, and really from my perspective, it's, I want to just be somebody who can help programs be better than we are. And I think having a background in coaching really helps, particularly for our athletic programs and teams and coaches, that having somebody who's done it and been in the mix and understands what coaches are going through, I think can be really helpful, understands what athletes are going through. I think I can be really helpful to our head coaches and those programs, and then have oversight too of our administrative programs.
How do you stay connected to women's basketball without looking over Addie's shoulder, so to speak?
I think for me, part of it's going to be just giving her space when she wants help. I'm obviously there for her, but I'm super confident in what she's going to do, where she's going to go. So I won't be looking over her shoulders. She doesn't, she's earned this opportunity, and I think she's been well prepared for it too. I really, in the last 2 years, have stepped away from some things and given her autonomy to do some things. So she was prepared to step in, and also so the kids were prepared to hear that voice. So I won't be looking over her shoulder too much, but I will be one of their biggest fans. And I've said that to the kids, that I think I can actually help them, our players, in a little bit different way, probably to my strength of mentoring role outside of basketball, to help them in their personal growth and development while they're here. And we've got great coaches that will take care of the X and O stuff and help them win a lot of games.
I don't think there's any doubt that will happen. What will you miss the most?
The hardest piece of the decision for me was the people piece of it, the relationships, and the opportunity every day. I love going in the gym. I love spending time with kids. I loved having an impact on their growth and development. I still think I can do that. It'll be in a different way, honestly, but I'll miss the daily interactions with kids and the relationships, because honestly, I love getting up every morning and just, I've never looked at my job as a job, honestly. And I still feel that way coming into work every day. So I don't think that piece of it changes. The relationship pieces of it changes a little bit, but you make those relationships in different ways now.